Hello, it's David with the Price Group at Coldwell Banker, and today I'm joined on this um, 10 seller tips with Brad Bess. So say hello, Brad.
Hello. Glad to be here.
I'm glad you could join me today. You know, it's interesting we have these conversations in the office talking about guiding our clients from the point of getting their home ready to go on the market all the way through closing, and I just don't see anybody putting useful content out there that would help a seller um, beyond just the basics that they can read online. So today I'd like to just get into a kind of a in-depth discussion with you over about 10 topics, all the way from hiring an experienced agent, getting your home prepared for going on the market, the steps that we go through to get it prepared to go on the market, to going under contract. So I guess the first thing that always comes up and it surprises me is when I see an agent who gets to list a property that you go, how on earth did that agent manage to pick up that listing in this location? They've never listed a home in that neighborhood before. They've
Right.
got one or two sales. Like, how did they manage to do that? And is that seller being represented to the best ability of a real estate agent?
Right.
And you and I have talked about this before, how it's a little frustrating being on the opposite side of a transaction and you're helping coach that person through their first or second transaction. And you're just thinking, wow, and the seller's paying for this level of education, this expertise, let's say. So just as a quick update, if you want to get your real estate license, it takes really 63 hours of online training and then a state exam, and suddenly you're a real estate agent. Not the type of real estate agent that if David Price was out ready to sell his home and I wasn't an agent, that's not who I would be looking to hire for my most valuable asset. How about you, Brad?
Well, I agree with that. And I guess that would be a good question is what if David Price was retired and needed to sell his home? And he's looking at the 10, what we believe are the 10 most important things that you need to do before you sell a home. Number one being you're going to hire an agent. And we wrote down an experienced agent. But what do we actually mean by that? Like, what would be, if David, if you're hiring someone, what are you looking for in that agent?
So if I was in the market to sell my home and I was looking to hire a real estate agent, so and I use that term hire because that's exactly what you're doing. You are hiring somebody for their expertise and professionalism to guide you through the process of selling your home. This isn't the time to hire the nice, sweet little lady down the street, or your wife goes to drops the kids off and notices the sign on somebody's car that their kid also goes to your school. So, hey, all real estate agents are the same. I'm just going to use that person. This is not that time. When you're ready to sell your home and you want to get the most exposure for the property, you want to be well represented, you want the home professionally prepared for sale, and you want to understand the purchase contract you're about to sign and the pitfalls that you may go through, I'd be looking for an agent that understands my market. Meaning, have they sold homes in my neighborhood? And how many homes have they sold over the last 12, 24, 36 months? Is their business on the way up? Is their business on the way down? The National Association of Realtors says the average real estate agent in the US sells 8 homes a year and makes
Wow.
less than somebody who works at McDonald's. That's not the person I'm looking for. So I would go online and I would start doing some research. I would speak to my neighbors. I would drive around the neighborhood and look for signs. And then I would start interviewing those agents to find out how much knowledge they have of the area and what their recommendations would be for me to put my home on the market. And um, how about you, Brad? What can you add to this?
Anytime that I'm meeting with a potential seller, for me, it seems like if you're an experienced agent, somebody that's out there in the marketplace, you're looking through buyer's eyes, right? You know what buyers are looking for. So if you can walk into somebody's home and point out, hey, we should maybe adjust this, price it this way. Did you see that this home just recently sold? You can allow that seller to understand that you're experienced, that you know that what your local market is, and that you also know what buyers are looking for. I think a lot of our buyers are out watching too much HGTV. I'm sure that you run into that.
Yes.
And then they're looking to go buy that. So, if you're thinking about selling your home and you hire an experienced real estate agent, they can come into your house and go, okay, this is what all the buyers are looking for. And maybe your home's got some of that, all of that, or none of that. And that person's going to be able to help you choose what you need to do to the home before you get it onto the market. Go ahead.
No, I mean, I agree with everything you just said, but finding an experienced agent, how would you recommend somebody go about doing that other than the things that I've just talked about?
I would say, a lot of the times you can start calling neighbors, friends, family that live in your area and have had experiences with real estate agents to see if you can get some sort of referral. Then when you get that referral, then I think that's when it starts that interview process. I see a lot of the times where people, like you said, they're driving by, they see a sign on a bench on a car, they just call that number, have that agent come over, and possibly that person's got that listing. Whereas if you could get a referral from a couple of friends and family that have used an experienced real estate agent in that local market, had great experiences with them, that kind of gives you kind of a step up rather than just randomly trying to find one. If not, then really, it's a matter of going online or calling some of the different brokerages in the areas and asking for, hey, who's your most experienced agent? Who's the agent that represents this area of town and has the most sales there? Maybe through one of the brokers to get that telephone number. But often, and I know that you go there every once in a while too. I love going up to Blue Ridge, Georgia, and every time I go up there, I see the same name, I see the same face, and I see the same slogan all over the place. And if I were going to sell a home, that's probably the first person that I would call to at least interview them, knowing that they know the area and they market and they sell that area.
That's some great advice. I guess my next question would be, or the next topic really would be, is preparing your home for sale. I know that you have a very interesting approach that you've perfected over the years of going into a seller's home and having them walk through the house. And why don't you go ahead and share with us your process?
Yeah, this is the part of the process that I truly enjoy. I think this is a time where you and the potential seller can be on the same page as to what you need to do to the home. So what we'll do is we'll show up and we'll literally start from the street, from the curb appeal. And I'll have a pad of paper, and we're going to start from the moment somebody pulls up to your house. What do they see? And if there's anything that we can adjust, we'll write that down, make some bullet points about that. So examples would be, hey, look, I pull up to your house, it's got 0 curb appeal. Okay, so what are the things that we can do very quickly to add curb appeal? Mulch, colorful flowers, plants, whatever that is, we'll write that down. And then we'll open up the door. What's the first thing that I see when I open up the door? Am I greeted into the home, or is there a lot of furniture throughout the house? What kind of pictures, paintings do you have on the walls? In the living room, a lot of times you'll walk in and there may be the TV area, and then you've got the cabinet below the TV and 4 different couches, and maybe the flow just isn't correct for the way that a home should be shown. So I'll suggest, hey, let's move a couple of these couches out, move these 2 here. Let's get the bundle of the wires behind the TV buttoned up so it's nice and clean. And we'll literally go room by room. And what I always say is I'm going to ask for 100%. We're going to go to every single room and I'm going to please do this, this, and this. And then it's up to the seller. They're going to do as much as they possibly can within reason. And what that does is that sets me up for the next time that I come back out for the pictures and the video and open houses. Everything is neat, tidy, put away. There's no distractions. David, I think I heard you say this a long time ago. People walk into your home and they're looking for a reason not to buy than for a reason to buy. So if you give them too many distractions, too many reasons why they don't want the home, they're going to shut down and leave the house. I think that buying decision is pretty quick. Within seconds of pulling up to the property, they're making a decision as to whether or not they're going to enter the home. Then once they enter the home, if it's clean and tidy, I'm sorry about that, clean, tidy, everything put away, then they're going to be more welcomed into the house. And we'll even get into things like linen closets and their closets. After you've spent the time decluttering the living area, the kitchen, the back room, whatever rooms those are. Then we'll go into the closets and go, look, I want you to take all your linens and roll those up into circles and place those in there. And a lot of times I'll have sellers ask, why are we doing this? And to me, if somebody walks into your house and it's completely neat, tidy, everything's put away, even your closets are color coordinated, the towels are rolled up, that tells a buyer that you've got a home that you've taken very good care of and you were serious about selling your home. You've done everything that the real estate agent has asked you to do. And when it comes time for pictures, video, and marketing, that's going to show. And a lot of the times it's funny, I'll finish that up and I'll come back, say a week, 2 weeks later, and everything's done. Everything's clean. Everything's put away. And sometimes sellers will go, you know what? I don't know if I want to sell my house anymore. Now I'm happy with the way that it's set up. It's staged. Everything is perfect. We've almost fallen in love with our home again. They usually still do sell their home, but I run into that conversation a lot. It's a fun process, and I think that also separates yourself from just another agent that may show up and go, yeah, sign this document. We're going to throw a sign up. We're going to put it in the MLS. We're going to get it sold. It's a whole package. And if you do all these things that we have on this list, you're going to have a better product at the end of the day. And, product, that's a harsh word when we're talking about your home. But when you go to sell your house, you've got to look at it that way. Like, what is the best way that we're going to make sure that this product looks the best online? Listen to that experienced real estate agent, and then it's going to transfer into less time on the market, hopefully for more money as well.
I agree with everything you've said, and just kind of adding some pieces to that there's a way that we live in a home, and then there's a way that we sell a home. So when you go into a model home, those model homes generally don't have TVs in them. They don't have clothes in the closet looking all disheveled. To walk up to a home, and the first thing I do when I'm working with a buyer is I pull up out front of the house, and I'm looking at the curb appeal, I'm looking at the age of the roof, and we're having a discussion about all of these pieces. And, if I'm seeing driveways that need to be power washed and landscaping that's disheveled, it's already set me up for what I'm going to see on the inside. So spending a few dollars before you put your home on the market and bringing a handyman, power washing the outside of the house, cleaning up the driveway, making it look presentable. And another tip that I've been using for the last few years on my roof, you can go to Home Depot and get a product there called Spray and Forget. And if you've got oak trees in your yard, or the neighbor has one, oftentimes within just a few years, your roof starts to look really dirty and dingy because of all the pollen that's been sitting on the roof shingles. So just getting up there 2-3 months in advance and just spraying that product on the roof will wash all of that off, and it just brings the roof back to almost brand new again. But also going through the house and setting it up in a way that makes sense to a buyer that's going to see the floor plan for the first time. And what I normally do is I'll walk in, take a look, make some adjustments, go back out of the room, kind of reset my eyes and walk back in. The first thing that kind of glares at me that's just not right, that's the thing you've got to move. It's the small details that just makes a big difference for a buyer going through a home.